To set up the camber, I mean eyeball it really, you're gonna need two jacks. You put one under the wishbone and jack it up so it just barely touches the wishbone. You lift the car up, you know, take off the wheel, you set it back down. So we're gonna have the brake disc and the whole assembly here in the same position as when the car is on the ground. So this will allow us to, you know, check how much camber we have and eyeball it so we can, you know, get to the alignment shop. So I did just that. I, you know, choose a very strong point on the wishbone. I lowered down the car, and now you can buy like measurement tools for camber, but if you don't have it, you really don't need it to eyeball it, because here, if you can just do this and you can see pretty much how much camber we have. And since I did check it before, I know that my wheel is a little bit like this, so now we're going to adjust it. You're gonna need two 18mm, and we're going to unbolt the shock, which has the camber adjustment for this car, for most VWs really, and then we're gonna go from there. I usually leave the bottom one a little bit more loose than the upper one, because when we adjust it, we're going to tighten the upper one first and then the lower one second. Now you just take your old trusty vice grips. I suggest putting some tape on the teeth, but this is like my daily car and I don't really care that much. So when you do this, you can now adjust the camber by pulling or pushing it inside or out. And you know, since it is only eyeballing it, you're going to set this guy properly. And looking at the measurement in here, we're going to be able to, you know, set it where we want it. You might need to pull on it very hard to get it in the position that you want, but you know, it's perfectly good enough to get you into the alignment shop. So I did some, you know, pulling on it to get it a little bit loose in there, because rust was keeping me from you know, aligning it at least mediocrely well. And now I hope I will be able to show you. I can get it. Oh shit. I can get it pretty much perfectly straight. I hope you can see. Oh yeah, now you can see. I can get it perfectly straight, and you know, the alignment guy will have to worry about adjusting it later. So now here comes the tricky part, because what we have to do, we're going to take one ratchet, we're going to take the other one, massage it on the bolt, and while you pull, because as you can see it wants to go backwards because of the shock and the spring, while you pull you're gonna have to tighten, so you're gonna need either two people or two hands. It's easier on this side because the ratchet locks on the disc brake, but on the other side it's a bit more difficult. You have to find a good position, or you have to take a second 1/4 inch and, you know, maybe lock it on the body of the car. As you can see, when you bolt it down, it pretty much always goes a little bit backwards, but you know, it's not that much of a problem. I think it's good enough to get you home, and while you are here, do the good deed and clean this thread in here, so the alignment guy will love you and not tell you that you need to replace this. So yeah, no, obviously you have to tighten the lower one. Watch out for the ABS sensor if you have a Lupo like me. And the lower one, just, you know, you can just tighten it down. If you want torque specs, I've read that it's about 65 Newton meters. But honestly, you know, do the classic thing, just pull it, click, yeah, that's good. And when you tighten the lower one, go back to the upper one, because it always gets a little bit loose. Yeah, so that's how we can eyeball the camber on most VW cars.